and good evening, and welcome to another edition of Sam Houston State University football. Today from Homer Brice Stadium in Nacogdoches, it's the Bearcats taking on the Lumberjacks of Stephen F. Austin State University. Hello again, everyone. I'm Rod Sydlik, and I'll be bringing you the play-by-play of this afternoon's game from Nacogdoches. Alongside me today, my partner Dan Bonner. And Dan, an exciting game, an arch rivalry, the 62nd meeting between these two teams. Always a good matchup when the Bearcats and the Lumberjacks get together.
That's right, Rod. It is going to be a tough matchup today. The Bearcats are coming into this game with a 5-3 overall record, 2-1 in Southland Conference play, whereas Lumberjacks and Stephen F. Austin are coming into the game with a 3-4-1 overall, and in Southland Conference action, they're coming in 1-2. So the Bearcats they're having somewhat of a better season, and the Bearcats also have come off two impressive victories. One over Lamar University and the other coming last week against Northwestern State. Both of those games, the first one against Lamar, Sam Houston won that one 34-21. They had a lot of penalties in that game, but they still managed to come out victorious. And then last week against Northwest Louisiana, they really pounded Northwest. It came out 34-7 in that win. And the Lumberjacks are coming off a tough loss to North Texas State Eagles, where they played here at home, and they lost that one just barely by a score of 14-16. So you have to take the past games into perspective, but also it doesn't matter how each of these teams' seasons are going, they're always going to play each other real tough, whether it's here in Nacogdoches or in Huntsville. And according to Coach Ron Randleman, he was looking for a very low-scoring game and a very tough game.
Well, you know, Dan, the main key element in this game, Sam Houston comes in #1 ranked offense in the Southland Conference. The Lumberjacks come into today's conference with the #1 defense in the conference. So you have strength against strength. The Bearcats probably, as Coach Randleman said, will not be able to put points on the board like they have done so this season so far. They are facing probably the best defense that they have seen all season.
That's right, Rod. And one thing I want to mention, you say that the Bearcats are coming into this game with the #1 ranked offense in the Southland Conference, and on the other side of the coin, this is going to be one of the toughest defenses that the Bearcats have faced all season. But on the other side of the coin, Sam Houston State, the Bearcats have somewhat of a cloud of controversy hanging over their team right now. Two of their players this week were arrested and charged with alleged controlled substance possession. One of those players being number 32, Jerry Waddy on offense, and then for the defense, one of the key players on their defense, number 22, Odie Harris. And on the defense, they have number 19, Meldon Mickles, to back up Odie Harris. They come in about the same measurement in height. They're the same. Meldon Mickles even had 20 pounds on Odie Harris, so that's not going to be too much of a loss as much as the Jerry Waddy loss, because now with J.J. Middleton out, it's really going to hit the Bearcats hard. But then they've also got Billy Anderson coming in on defense, and has had 4 interceptions just the past 2 games. So it's really going to be up in the air on the defense for the Bearcats.
And you mentioned the fact that Jerry Waddy out after the incident, and a key element there, because with JJ out, as you mentioned, with Daryl Montgomery and Jerry Waddy were supposed to share that duty at fullback. Waddy has been very successful the last 2 years for Sam Houston, catching the ball out of the backfield. Now taking a look at Stephen F. Austin, they are under the direction of 6-year head coach Jim Hess. He has a record of 37-24-2 at Nacogdoches, and he's 2-3 against Sam Houston. Hess moved to Stephen F. Austin from Angelo State University, where in 1978 his Angelo State Rams rolled to the NAIA National Championship with a 14-0 record. Stephen F. Austin and Sam Houston played the first Gulf Star Conference game ever. Bearcats winning that one 20-7 at Huntsville's Pritchett Field back in '84. And last season, 30-26, Bearcats on top in that one. And the remarkable play, 39-yard diving TD catch by Ricky Eggleston with only seconds to go in that game. A very impressive win for Sam Houston last year, and it should be another good one this year.
It should be, right. You know, people, when you see two schools come up like this that have had a lot of meetings, you look for one of the elements to be, what's the win-loss ratio here? And obviously Sam Houston holds a considerable margin over the Lumberjacks in the win category, where it's 35-24-2 advantage over the Lumberjacks. But like I said before, when these two teams meet, it's such a big rivalry that the past records don't really come into play that much.
Taking a look at Lumberjacks to watch out for today's game. Quarterback Todd Hamill has been on the winning end of 2 of the 3 games he started. He threw for 467 yards and 1 touchdown since returning to the lineup against Nicholls State. Michael Horace ranks 4th among conference rushers, 487 yards, 2 touchdowns. Wide receiver Melvin Patterson is 6th in the Southland Conference in receptions with 24 catches for 369 yards. As Jerome Heim is about to tee it up as the Bearcats won the toss but elected to take the wind here as the wind is swirling through Homer Brice Stadium. Running back Larry Centers of Stephen F. Austin leads the conference in all-purpose yardage, so a lot of weapons for Stephen F. Austin this afternoon. Kickoff from Jerome Heim will come deep in the end zone. It will be taken there in the end zone by 22. That's Calvin Neal. He will down it, and the Lumberjacks will come out on offense 1st and 10.
And taking a look at the Lumberjacks starting offense, number 65, tight tackle Gary Pavetto, number 70, Spencer at tight guard, Spencer Leftwich. At center, number 52, Jeff Jackson. Split guard, number 61, Bo Alexander. Split tackle, number 59, Greg Bryant. Wide receiver, number 17, Chris Edwards. Starting at quarterback, number 5, Todd Hamill. It's starting at tight end, number 89, Brad Barfield. Starting at running back, number 37, Larry Centers.
Handoff goes straight up the middle, short yardage, perhaps only 1 yard on the play. Off the bottom of the pile, carrying the ball, 37, Larry Center, the sophomore, 1-year letterman out of Tatum, Texas, on the carry. Give him 1 yard on the play and bring up 2nd down and 9.
And that's one thing, Rod, that the Bearcats are going to have to do today is shut down the Lumberjack running game, because the Lumberjacks have been having some problems with their passing game. They're going to rely heavy on the running game today, and if the Bearcats can shut that down, I think they've got a good shot at it.
Edwards and Melvin Patterson are both split wide to the left side. Now the pitch back comes to the backfield. Larry Centers breaks off a couple tackles, has good yardage up close to 1st down territory. Mark him about a yard short of the 1st down. Will bring up a 3rd and short.
One thing, Rod, I know that the coach Hess of the Lumberjacks has been viewing the tapes of the Bearcats, and he's got to be a little bit leery of number 85, Billy Anderson, with the 4 interceptions that he's had here in the past 2 games.
Melvin Patterson is wide to the left side. Chris Edwards wide to the right. Handoff will go straight up the middle. That's Larry Centers. He should just have enough yardage for the 1st down. Taking a look at the Sam Houston State defense.
Okay, starting at weekend is number 53, Huey Blackman. Starting at left tackle, number 98, Mike Ober. Starting at right tackle, number 97, Marvin Brown. Starting at strong end, number 59, Andre Finley. Starting at strong linebacker, number 43, Leish Adams, the man with the most tackles on that defense. Starting at free safety, 85, Billy Anderson. Strong safety is 13, Delrich Gay. Weak cornerback, number 26, Ricky Royal. And starting at weak linebacker, number 27, check that, Tale Royal.
Handoff goes straight up the middle, 37, Larry Centers on the carry. Roger Johnson, the middle linebacker, senior 3-year letterman from Houston Cypress Fairbanks, up to make the tackle for Sam Houston. Clock runs 2 minutes, 58 seconds to go 1st quarter as we're just underway from Homer Brice Stadium in Nacogdoches. The Lumberjacks operate 2nd down and 9, ball at the 31-yard line. And now Hamill will look to throw, has a man. Ball is overthrown, intended for Brad Barfield, the tight end. Junior 2-year letterman out of Pasadena Rayburn High School. Ball was just overthrown by Hamill.
That's one thing we were talking about, that the Lumberjacks passing game is not as established as the running game. And just right there, when you overthrow a ball right there and you've got a free safety like Billy Anderson, who just kind of plays back in the middle right there as a free safety does, he's able to come up, and with his speed, as we've seen in previous games, he has a speed and the ability to come up and pick off a lot of overthrown balls like that.
3 receivers to the left now. 17, Chris Edwards comes in motion. Straight back to throw is Todd Hamill. Looking across the middle, has a man. It's complete out across the 40-yard line. Number 80, Melvin Patterson on the reception. Tackled by a whole host of Sam Houston Bearcats secondary defenders. So So just as we mentioned, the Lumberjack passing game not coming in here, we heard that it was not hasn't done well this season passing the ball. A nice pass that time by Todd Hamill.
That's right. And look for Todd Hamill, and coach has to work on number 19, the strong cornerback, Meldon Mickles.
And the ball straight up the middle. That's Larry Sinners. He will be into Bearcat territory and close to another Lumberjack first down. And right now, the Lumberjack running game is looking real impressive here in the first quarter.
And look at me, Rod, on that play, he ran into his own man. To be number 17 was blocking Meldon Mickles and had a little just miscommunication down there.
Chris Edwards goes wide to the left side. Melvin Patterson is wide to the right, I formation. Michael Horace is the fullback. Larry Sinners is the tailback. And the ball to Sinners. Sinners breaks off a couple tackles. Nice open field tackle. 13, Delrich Gay up from his strong safety spot to make the tackle. But the sophomore, one-year letterman out of Tatum, Texas, is finding big holes in that Bearcat defense, and that's another Lumberjack first down. 37, Reginald Oakes checks in at defensive end for Sam Houston. First and 10, spot the ball at the 36-yard line in Sam Houston territory. Todd Hamill operates at quarterback. Patterson wide left, Edwards wide right. And this ball straight up the middle. Larry Sinners, big yardage once again. Billy Anderson, Delrich Gay combined on the stop, but 12 yards on the carry and another Lumberjack first down. Lumberjack running game eating up big chunks of real estate here in the first quarter. So the clock runs with 11 minutes to go. First quarter action from Homer Brice Stadium. It is homecoming here at Stephen F. Austin. As Patterson is wide to the left side, Edwards is wide to the right. Tight end Barfield tight to the right. I formation as Hamill will go play action. Now roll it out, looking, has a man wide open. Ball is caught. Touchdown, Melvin Patterson. 24 yards the pass on the rollout. Todd Hamill to Melvin Patterson, and the Lumberjacks go up with 10 minutes, 41 seconds to go in the first quarter, 6-0.
Well, Rod, we've seen this, time and time again. The Bearcats come out against somebody that the first drive is usually the best drive, most impressive drive that we'll see by an opponent against the Bearcats is their first one of the game. The Bearcats often start out slow like this, and on that particular play, it looked like some miscommunication in the Bearcat secondary because Billy Anderson had to come over from his free safety position to try to make up ground.
David Jones' extra point attempt is up, and it is good. So with 10 minutes, 41 seconds to go here in the first quarter, the Lumberjacks strike first blood here in the Piney Woods War. They lead it over Sam Houston 7-0.
In Their Time, a show featuring 6 great Americans who have influenced our country in the post-World War II era. Host Mike Nagy interviews noted scholars on the impact of these Americans Wednesday nights at 7:30 here on Channel 7.
So that time, 80 yards on the drive by Stephen F. Austin. They go the length of the field. It took them 5 minutes, in a little over 5 minutes in that drive. Real impressive as they totally dominated on the line of scrimmage. They were blowing the Bearcat defensive line right off the ball.
Well, as I said a minute ago, Rod, if you'll recall, against Lamar University in Beaumont, Lamar came out and they just marched it right down the field on the Bearcats, but that was all they had. The Bearcats they snapped after that and came back and shut down almost everything Lamar had. So don't look for the Bearcats to just be asleep the rest of the game.
Now the Bearcats have been notorious for giving up first drives. They did win the toss and elected to kick off to Stephen F. Austin, taking the win as the wind now is blowing from out of the south to the north here at Homer Brice Stadium. So the Bearcats will be going with the wind here in the first, and they will have it in the fourth quarter as well. Back deep, Victor Henry and Ricky Davis to receive the kickoff.
This is one of the areas that the Bearcats have to concentrate on, and Coach Ron Randleman was commenting that they are getting better. They started out the season on the special teams not too impressive. As a matter of fact, he was real upset about the way things were working out with the special teams. But he said today that they have been progressing, as we've seen all season, and they were relying heavily on what their special team units can put out.
Steve Merca to kick it off for Stephen F. Austin. He hammers it deep. Ricky Davis at the 8. Returns up across the 20. Now looks for a hole. He will be knocked down short of the 30-yard line. So that's where Reggie Lewis and the Bearcat offense will operate 1st and 10.
And taking a look at the Bearcats starting offense, starting at quarterback will be number 10, Reggie Lewis. Starting at fullback, number 45, Daryl Montgomery. Tailback, number 33, Luther Turner. Starting at flanker, number 30, Victor Henry. Starting at tight end, number 84, Ricky Eggleston. Starting at right tackle, number 76, Jeff Kirby. Starting at right guard, number 68, Brian White. And starting at center, number 57, David Elam. Starting at left guard, number 54, Walter Fortune. And starting at left tackle, number 72, Chris Herman.
And the flea flicker, and the ball is picked off. 32 is Bruce Alexander, returns it back across the 30 now, breaks a couple of tackles, and will be dragged down at the 11-yard line.
But hold the phones, Rod. There was a flag on the play, and that could bring it all back.
I think that Keith Willis got bumped on the play. He was the intended receiver. I believe the strong safety, George Redmond, that time, or one of the SFA defensive backs, will be called for pass interference because Keith Willis was bumped as he cut across just at midfield. The flag was thrown. So the penalty will work against the Lumberjacks. A big break that time as the ball was underthrown. So the call will go against Stephen F. Austin for defensive holding. That will constitute an automatic first down. So spot the ball up to the 39-yard line in Bearcat territory, and the Bearcats operate 1st and 10 as they tried a little trickery running that flea flicker reverse.
A little bit chancy coming off the first play.
Bearcats go with double wide receivers. Now Victor Henry goes in motion far side of the field. Hand the ball straight up the middle. Fullback Daryl Montgomery will have about 4 yards on that play. Off the bottom of the pile, number 60, Vince Adams. Vince Adams, and he got help from 96, Eric Loki, the middle linebacker on that play for Stephen F. Austin. Henry goes wide to the left side. Keith Willis is the wide receiver wide to the right. I formation, Montgomery and Luther Turner. Now Ricky Eggleston shifts to a tight end on the left side. Hand the ball off to Turner. Turner looking for room to operate, will get up close to midfield. He will be about a yard short of the first down, will bring up a 3rd down and 1. Taking a look at the Stephen F. Austin defense, the left end is number 90, Eric King. 92, David Gibbs, the left tackle. Number 60, Vance Adams is the right tackle. Right end is Keith Melcher. Left side linebacker, Carlton Walker. Middle linebacker, 96, Eric Loki. Bobby Henry, 35, operates at right linebacker. Now the Bearcats go double tight end set. Pitch the ball back to Luther Turner, breaks off a couple of tackles, and good effort that time as Luther Turner was hit in the backfield, but as he so often does, bounces off and gets the first down.
That's right, Rod. As we always say before, you can't arm tackle Luther Turner. He's a man that's got to be brought down with a hard hit, and I'm sure Coach Ron Randall is going to be relying heavily on Luther Turner today, as Daryl Montgomery we can't downplay Daryl Montgomery, but he's a good blocker, but he's probably not quite the back that J.J. Middleton is.
So 1st and 10, spot the ball in the 46-yard line in Lumberjack territory. Now Lewis looking to throw, has a man wide open. That's Ricky Eggleston. He's across the 20. He may go. He will be into the end zone for the touchdown. 47 yards, Reggie Lewis to Ricky Eggleston, and that time, Dan, wide open Ricky Eggleston.
Definitely somebody had a mixed up communication, a mixed up job on what they were supposed to do on that play, because there was nobody within 20 yards of Ricky Eggleston. He was all by himself.
Good to see the passing game unofficially 46 yards. Ricky Eggleston from Reggie Lewis as Bart Bradley will hold for Billy Hayes.
And that's one of the reasons this Bearcat offense is ranked #1 in the Southland Conference.
extra point attempt is up and good. So with 8 minutes, 31 seconds to go here in the first quarter, it's now Stephen F. Austin 7, Sam Houston 7.
Find out why over 5,000 young men and women have pledged fraternities and sororities at Sam Houston State University. Join host Chris Bianco for a look at fraternities on Cable Channel 7 every Monday night at 9:30. Hey kids, join us here on Cable Channel 7 for Kids Corner, the show where each time we learn something fun and exciting. And that's also on Monday. It's on Monday mornings at 9 o'clock.
So fireworks here the first quarter from Homer Brice Stadium. 46 yards, Reggie Lewis to Ricky Eggleston on the first drive for Stephen F. Austin. 24 yards, Todd Hamill to Melvin Patterson. Both offenses, Dan, for a game that we were supposed to see a lot of defense, so far we've seen the offenses really moving at will.
Well, that's true, Rod. Keep in mind also the wind has died down somewhat here, and that's one of the reasons Coach Ron Randleman was saying that there was not going to be a lot of high scoring. Also, the tensions are high a little bit here. Wait for everybody to get settled down a little bit. Obviously, something wasn't following into form right there because the Sam Houston is supposed to be able to shut the run down very effectively. And on the other side of the coin, this Stephen F. Austin defense is supposed to be one of the toughest defenses that the Bearcats have faced this season. And here we see, right off the bat, they make a scoring strike, as did the Lumberjacks. So look for things to tone down just a little bit here.
A very, very large crowd filing into Homer Brice Stadium. There are people now sitting on the grass portions out of the stand. It is homecoming, and they were expecting in excess of 14,000. This place holds about a little over 14,000 people. They were expecting more around 15 or 16,000 to pack the grass around the stadium, and it is starting to fill up. As Jerome Heim nails it, and the ball will be fumbled in the end zone. It will be downed and brought out to the 20-yard line for Stephen F. Austin. Roland Dooms, a backup defensive back, downs it in the end zone. So Todd Hamill and the Stephen F. Austin State University Lumberjack offense comes onto the field. Once again, they will start at their own 20.
And keep in mind, Rod, that the Lumberjacks, I'm watching for them to start working on number 19. Meldon Mickles is playing in place of Odie Harris.
Patterson is matched up over here on the near sidelines against Meldon Mickles as the handoff goes straight up the middle. That's Larry Centers.
Up in here again for the Lumberjacks.
Give him 5 yards on the play as Marvin Brown up from his defensive tackle spot to make the tackle for Sam Houston. So second down and 5, ball at the 25-yard line. Edwards is wide to the right side. Melvin Patterson is wide to the left. Now Hamill will run the option, turn it upfield. He will be close to first down yardage up at the 30-yard line. 19, Meldon Mickles up from his secondary spot to make the tackle. First and 10, Stephen F. Austin.
On this drive, Rod, the Bearcats have really got to try to shut that running game down somewhat of the Lumberjacks, because they're going to rely on that heavily during the course of this game. And the Bearcats have got to establish themselves on this drive.
Hand the ball off. Larry Centers once again bounces off a couple of tackles. He will go for about 3 yards on that play. Take him up to about the 33-yard line. So Melvin Patterson is wide to the left side. Derek Wright wide to the right. Split backs now handed off to Centers. Finds a hole, nice open field tackle. 26 ticket Ricky Royal up from his cornerback spot to make the hit on Centers. He will be about 4 yards short of the first down, and it'll be third down. Take a look at the secondary for Sam Houston. Meldon Mickles operates at strong side cornerback. Weak side quarterback Ricky Royal. The strong safeties Delrich Gay. Billy Anderson operates at free safety. The linebackers, Leish Adams on the strong side, 43-35, Roger Johnson in the middle, and Tolly Royal, 27 at the weak side linebacker position. Third down and three wide receivers. Now Hamill looking to throw, has a man. Ball intended for Larry Centers, almost picked off for the Bearcats. Number 46 for Sam Houston, Don Clem, a linebacker, freshman from Garland, playing back in pass coverage, almost had himself an interception. So Steve Merca, the junior transfer from Pflugerville, is back to punt, hangs up a nice high punt, and it will take a Bearcat roll and go out of bounds in Lumberjack territory just across the midfield stripe. So now good field position for the Bearcats to work with 6:05 to go in the first quarter.
And that's exactly what the Bearcat defense had to do, Rod. They had to come down here, absolutely shut down the Lumberjack offense, shut that, and more specifically, shut that running game down, force them to punt into the wind. And as we saw right there, the ball got up there. It had a good hang time. The wind caught it and pushed it back. And then the ball, to add things, add bad words, the ball takes Bearcat bounce. So that's exactly what the Bearcats need to establish themselves and get this game toned out.
Hand the ball straight up the middle. Darrell Montgomery, flag is down as Montgomery will have about 6 yards on the play.
Montgomery will be carrying for the Bearcats.
Flag was thrown by the side judge. David Whitmore, the free safety, up to make the stop as the penalty will go against Stephen F. Austin. Offsides against Stephen F. Austin, so the Bearcats will have to make a decision here. They will probably take the penalty, as they will take the penalty and get to repeat first down. So 1st and 5, spot the ball at the 44-yard line in Lumberjack territory as James Lopez checks into the ball game and Keith Willis comes over to the near sidelines.
You know, Rod, that's one thing that we haven't seen anything. It's still early in the game. We haven't seen the Bearcats draw any penalties, but as we have in previous games. It really has hurt them.
Now, they have penalized 75 yards worth of penalties in the first half against Northwestern State last week as play action by Reggie Lewis. Now running out of time, scrambles, has Victor Henry, and he drops the football. Nice scramble that time by Reggie Lewis, and I think that time Victor Henry just tried to turn up field and run before he had the football.
That's right, Ron. That really is a shame because usually we're so accustomed to seeing Reggie Lewis get put under some heavy pressure and have a tendency to throw in a crowd. That time he kept his composure and hit Victor Henry right on the numbers, and like you said, I think Victor may have just tried to run before he got the ball.
As he tried to turn upfield, there's a Lumberjack shaken up over on the far sideline. Number 90, left end Eric King Jr., transfer from Killeen, Texas, is down on the turf. Now he is up and walking around, will come out of the ball game.
You know, Rob, one thing we might want to mention is Coach Hess said today in an interview that talking about Reggie Lewis being a devastating quarterback, that he's dangerous on the design plays, but it's when the design play breaks down that he is the most dangerous, because when he gets out of there, he's got that superb scrambling ability.
And he has a tendency to make things happen in that situation. So 2nd down and 5, ball at the 44-yard line. Now Lewis will look to throw, now back off. Has a man, the ball is caught. Ricky Eggleston pulls his way across the 30, stays on his feet, and goes inside the 25 to about the 23-yard line. And that time the junior two-year letterman out of Dayton caught the pass as it was almost knocked away and carried a few tacklers with him.
You really got to credit Ricky Eggleston on that reception, Rod, because he caught that ball. He had to come off balance, reach around behind him, catch the ball, and then continue his spin and run with the ball. So, and not to downplay Reggie Lewis any on the pass, as he was definitely under pressure that time.
Willis wide to the left side, James Lopez wide to the right. I formation, Montgomery, Luther Turner, 1st and 10, ball at the 23-yard line in Lumberjack territory. Hand the ball straight up the middle to the fullback. That's Darrell Montgomery. Give him about 2, maybe 3 yards on the play. The Bearcat offense really moving well here in the first quarter, as both drives they have moved consistently down the field against this defense that Coach Ron Randleman in an interview said today that was probably the toughest defense he would face all year.
That's right, and everybody's playing up the Bearcat passing game, playing up. Coach Ron Randleman said, that's right, we do have a strong passing game, but we've got to establish our running game because without a running game, you don't have anything.
Movement on the interior line, flags are down. The Lumberjacks are porting towards Sam Houston, and the call is offside, Stephen F. Austin. So another break for Sam Houston. Mark off 5 yards on that play. As it appears one of the Lumberjack defensive linemen moved on the play.
Well, Rod, I'm really impressed with the way the Bearcats are holding their composure, not drawing the penalties. In previous games, it seems that by now we would have seen at least 2 or 3 penalties on the Bearcats, as we've seen on the Lumberjacks during this first quarter of play.
So the Bearcats will operate 1st and 10, ball at the 12-yard line. Play action, Reggie Lewis looking, now is under pressure, gets away from a couple of tacklers, stays on his feet, throws it out of the back of the end zone. And a nice play that time as Reggie Lewis was scrambling for his life back there, and a good play just to be able to throw that ball away.
That's right, and that's exactly what we just mentioned a while ago. When the design play breaks down, watch out for Reggie Lewis because he is a hard man to bring down, as we saw right there. 1, 2, 3 missed tackles, and he still gets the ball off. Granted, he threw it out of the end zone, through and out of the end zone, which was a heads-up ball to just get that ball away and avoid the sack.
Clock stop, 4:01 to go, first quarter. Keith Willis wide to the left side, Victor Henry wide to the right. 2nd down and 10, ball at the 12-yard line. Hand the ball straight up the middle. Daryl Montgomery will be inside the 10 to about the 9. Give him 3 yards on the play, but it's going to bring up a 3rd down and long situation here deep in Lumberjack territory. So 3rd and 7, spot the ball out at the 9.
You know, Rod, this seems like a classic time to see Luther Turner get the ball, the man that can't stop those legs from moving.
Look for Luther Turner on the pitch, or perhaps even the rollout play where Reggie Lewis has the option, but he will go straight back to throw. Now scramble out of the pocket, gets away, now goes to the far side of the field, has room to operate, now will turn it upfield and will be brought down. 91 on the play for the Stephen F. Austin Lumberjacks.
Well, credit the Lumberjack secondary for that sack, Rod. They gave Reggie Lewis no one to throw to, and you can't really say that this sack should go to the line because the secondary shut down the receivers, gave Reggie nothing to throw to, and if you stay back there long enough, somebody's going to get to you. I don't care who you are.
And that time it was Julius Smith who had came in as an extra linebacker. Billy Hayes spotted at the 22, so 32-yard attempt out of the hole to Bart Bradley. Field goal attempt is up, and it is good. So a break in the action with 2 minutes and 43 seconds to go here in the first quarter. Your new score, Sam Houston 10, Stephen F. Austin 7.
Exciting East Texas high school football every week here on Channel 7. Follow the Huntsville Hornets throughout the 1987 season. Highlights and interviews with Coach Clements every week on Channel 7. Plan to watch Cable Channel 7 for local entertainment, information, news, and sports. Get in Shape is a health magazine for the fit and the not so fit. There will be many topics such as running, biking, general fitness, and others. Each show will offer aerobics and a segment of exercise for the handicapped and elderly. Join us on Cable Channel 7 Mondays at 7 p.m.
So a nice drive that time as the Bearcats take the ball and go about 35 yards on the drive and end up settling for the 32-yard field goal for Billy Hayes, who's been kicking the ball really well as he had the 54-yarder last week, a personal and school best at Bearcat Stadium as he kicked it 54 yards against Northwestern State. So Jerome Heim has it teed up. A wobbly kick will be fumbled now and recovered for the Lumberjacks. 23 on the play, Marvin Davis, a backup fullback, takes the ball, and the Lumberjacks will operate in poor field position at the 16.
And Rob, the special teams are doing exactly what Coach Ron Randleman's looking for. They're having an excellent game today. The best the Lumberjacks have been able to start with is at their own 20-yard line, and this time they're starting at their, call it the 15 and a half. So special teams really showing their colors today for the Bearcats.
Edwards and Patterson both to the left side. As the quarterback keeps the ball, will be out across the 40-yard line to the 42, and that time Todd Hamill hit the ball well as he bootlegged it around the right side.
I don't think anyone on the Bearcat check that the defense actually knew where the ball was except number 98, Mike Oberg. For the Bearcats, he was the only one that was in pursuit until the quarterback for Lumberjacks, number 5, Todd Hamill, is somewhere around, say, the 35.
He faked the handoff, put it on his hip, and held the ball quite well. Now Edwards and Patterson are both split wide to the right side. 1st and 10 ball at the 42-yard line. Todd Hamill now once again will fake it. He is under pressure, gets the ball away, intended for Melvin Patterson, overthrown, and it will bring up the 2nd down and 10. So clock stop, 2:19 to go. Here in the first quarter from Homer Brice Stadium in Nacogdoches, Stephen F. Austin operates 2nd and 10 from the 42-yard line. Melvin Patterson goes wide to the left side as Chris Edwards is wide to the right. Now Hamill on the quarterback draw. We will be into Bearcat territory, turn it upfield. 85, Billy Anderson up from his free safety spot to make the tackle. But that time a huge hole for Todd Hamill, and he makes it good for good yardage and another Lumberjack 1st down. So surprising, as well as the Bearcat defense has played against the run in the last few weeks, they are giving up huge chunks of real estate in that running game.
That's right, Robin. As we said earlier in the game, that's what Stephen F. Austin, that's their primary tool on offense, is a running game.
Patterson to the left, Edwards to the right. Hand the ball straight up the middle. Larry Sinners tripped up in the backfield. 46, Don Clem.
One thing, Rod, if you'll notice on this particular drive, the big gains on the ground now have come both from the quarterback for the Lumberjacks, Todd Hamill, and he's acting like he's dropping back into the pocket. He gets about halfway, stops, and just runs right up the line. I think it's catching the Bearcats off guard.
So now the Lumberjacks operate 2nd down and 9. Now once again, fake it. Hamill has a man open. That's Melvin Patterson. He will be out of bounds complete at the 15-yard line, and that time he got behind secondary coverage and makes the big gain.
And Rod, if you'll also notice who he got behind, whose horn we were trumping at the beginning of this ball game, number 85, Billy Anderson. Billy got severely burned on that play.
So the 2nd time today that Melvin Patterson goes for big yardage for Stephen F. Austin. Clock stop with 1:02 to go, 1st quarter. Patterson goes wide to the left side. Chris Edwards is wide to the right. I formation behind Todd Hamill. Now once again, he will fake it, hand it off up the middle. Larry Sinners once again takes the carry up to about the 10-yard line. And you know, Dan, Todd Hamill is hiding that ball well in this Lumberjack offense. It is hard to tell when he's keeping it and when he's handing it off. Patterson goes wide to the left side with Chris Edwards wide to the right. I formation. Hand the ball off. Larry Sinners is looking for the end zone. He is going to be in for the touchdown. So from 10 yards out, Larry Sinners puts the Lumberjacks in front.
All righty, you know what? It all seems to always go against the grain of what we said, and we heard right from the mouth of Coach Ron Randleman. He predicted this would be a low-scoring game, and here we've seen every drive, except one drive by the Lumberjacks, we've had scoring on every drive so far this game. who knows what it is? It could be because of just, you know, the sheer fact that it's this rivalry, the excitement in the air by the crowd. Who knows? And we do have a Bearcat player down in the end zone from the particular play.
I believe
it looks to be number
27.
27. We found out.
Tolly Royal.
Tolly Royal. Man that's down for the Bearcats. Good to see that he's walking off.
He took a shot that time as Centers got into the end zone. So the Lumberjacks, who came into today's game supposedly with a lack of offense, has put 13 quick points on the board with the extra point attempt to come. 14 points in the first quarter for Stephen F. Austin. We really did not expect that kind of scoring ability out of the Lumberjack offense, as the extra point attempt by David Jones is up, and it is good. So with 23 seconds to go in the first quarter, your new score, Stephen F. Austin 10, or check it, Stephen F. Austin 14, Sam Houston 10.
Variety Showcase, the show that glistens with local entertainers. Variety Showcase only on cable channel 7. The madcap adventures of Alan, Roach, and Nigel down in their little corner of the world known as Wits End. That's Wits End on cable channel 7 Monday nights at 8 o'clock.
So with 23 seconds to go here in the first quarter, Sam Houston on the short end of a 14-10 score here at Homer Brice Stadium in Nacogdoches. Rod Sydlik along with Dan Bonner here, bringing you all the action of Bearcat football. And the Bearcats, who were coming into today's game supposedly with the top offense, and Stephen F. Austin with the top defense, but so far it has been the Stephen F. Austin offense, as they have only been stopped once, and they have eaten up large chunks of real estate here in the first quarter.
That's true, Rob, but then you have to look at the other side of the coin. Bearcat offense has not been stopped. They've had the ball 2 times. They've scored on both drives.
So should we trash our opening statement about a low-scoring affair?
I think we should.
As the kickoff by Merca is taken by Ricky Davis, now looking for a hole, tries to get up through it. A nice play over here on the near sidelines off the bottom of the pile for the Stephen F. Austin Lumberjacks from number 38 on the play. That's George Redmond, a defensive back. So the Bearcats will operate 1st and 10, spot the ball at the 34-yard line. Reggie Lewis is the quarterback. Montgomery and Turner are the setbacks. Willis and Henry are the wide receivers. Now Lewis looking to throw, has a man, ball is complete. Keith Willis out across the 50-yard line into Lumberjack territory, and that time a nice strike as that ball was perfectly thrown by Reggie Lewis.
It sure was, right? You couldn't have asked for a better pitch or a pass by Reggie Lewis. The ball Keith was running at full stride right to the sidelines, made the reception, I'd say a yard from the sideline, with a defender running or making a play for the ball right in front of him, and Keith Willis still managed to come up with the reception. And that is, by the way, one of Reggie Lewis's favorite receivers to go to is number 81, Keith Willis.
And the ball off to Luther Turner. He will have short yardage, perhaps 2 yards on the play off the bottom of the pile for Stephen F. Austin. Will be number 78. That's Mervyn Jones, who has checked in at a defensive line spot. 2 yards on the play, 2nd down and 8, ball on the 26-yard line, or check at the 46-yard line, as we have come to the end of the first quarter of play from Homer Brice Stadium in Nacogdoches. After 15 minutes of play, it's Stephen F. Austin 14, Sam Houston 10.
Well, Rod, if you're Coach Ron Randleman, what do you think right now? He came into this game not expecting a big passing offense from the Lumberjacks. Instead, he came in here anticipating a strong attack by their ground game, which they've shown, and the Bearcats haven't been able to shut them down. So what do you do? What do you go into the locker room at halftime and tell your team when obviously that's what you were telling them from the week before in preparation for the game?
Well, the Bearcats are going to just have to tighten up in their defensive secondary. I think Hamilton is, the Bearcat defense is having a lot of trouble with the reads. I don't think that they're reading the quarterback, which is one of the keys to playing defense, is being able to read from the action off the ball, off the snap of the football, what's going on. I think that once the Bearcats start recognizing what Hamill is doing off the snap of the football, they will be able to react a little bit better. And another thing, Todd Hamill had been injured and had just come back, and I think he's a better quarterback than a lot of people think. I think injuries have hampered his performance more than probably anything else. Maybe Hamill is just coming into his own here today.
And one other thing, not to keep harping on, because certainly we don't like to keep talking about something like this, but on the part of the Bearcats, do you think that team morale could be low right now, stemming from the incidents with Larry Waddy and Odie Harris? Do you think that could have any kind of effect on the morale of the team today?
Well, it could possibly, but I think that these guys know what their jobs are. I've talked to Coach Randleman, and he says that, the guys, they understand, but he says that his team will not have a problem getting up for today's game. I think once they got on the field, all they have on their minds is playing football. I think they've just been surprised because the offensive line for Stephen F. Austin has been opening big holes, and the Bearcat defense is going to have to fill those holes. 46-yard line, Bearcats have it. As now the reverse, Victor Henry now will be in trouble and breaks a couple of tackles. He will be inside the 30-yard line, and that time, two of the defensive linemen for Stephen F. Austin blew a chance to stop Victor Henry for no gain as Henry goes for big yardage down inside the 30-yard line.
Well, Victor really turned it on when he went around that corner. You're a defensive lineman. If you don't have extremely long arms or exceptional speed for defensive linemen, it's going to be hard to catch Victor Henry, which he showed right there. He just blew around the corner out of the reach of the lineman.
1st and 10, spot the ball at the 29-yard line in Lumberjack territory. The Bearcat offense has moved very efficiently as they have scored on each of their first 2 drives. Pitch the ball, Luther Turner breaks a couple of tackles, will go inside the 25-yard line. 32, Bruce Alexander, with help from 43, David Whitmore on the stop for Stephen F. Austin. Give him a gain of 6 yards and bring up a 2nd down and 4. As Tim Rome and Keith Willis check out of the ball game as James Lopez goes wide to the left side. Double tight inset on the 2nd down and 4 play. 2nd quarter action. Reggie Lewis operates at quarterback. Montgomery, the fullback. Luther Turner, the tailback. And the ball straight up the middle, and nowhere goes Daryl Montgomery. Hit on the play by David Gibbs, the left tackle, and a whole host of defensive linemen for Stephen F. Austin. So that'll bring up a 3rd down and 4, ball at the 23. As the Bearcats now going against the wind here in the 2nd quarter. They will send one wide receiver to the left side and go with the I formation. Now Reggie Lewis under pressure. He will be sacked. 35 on the play. Bobby Henry from his right side linebacking spot to make the tackle for Stephen F. Austin. A big loss on that play.
Sure, well, you got to credit number 35 on the sack right there, Rod, for Bobby Henry. For even bringing down by itself Reggie Lewis, but I think on what we saw right there was a hand or an arm falling down across the ankle of Reggie Lewis, because Reggie had pushed the would-be tackler off, and they came up short anyway. But give him the credit on the sack anyway.
4th and 14, Bart Bradley, the sophomore from Kilgore, is back. Deep punt formation. He will try to bang it out of bounds. Gets a high punt. And it will go into the end zone for the touchback. So not very much on the net, but with 12 minutes, 36 seconds to go here in the 1st half, it's still Stephen F. Austin 14, Sam Houston 10. So the Lumberjacks will now operate with the wind. The Bearcats electing to take the win in the first quarter, and the Lumberjacks come out scoring 14 points. So that decision hasn't worked out too well so far for Sam Houston. Now Hamill back to throw, looking, dumps out of the pocket. The ball is almost picked off. 85, Billy Anderson on the coverage. Pass intended that time for the tight end, Brad Barfield.
And credit Billy Anderson with a fine defensive play on that. He stretched out full horizontal on that play, Rod, and he got his hand just in there at the last moment and knocked the ball down. Very fine play by number 85, Billy Anderson.
Anderson, the junior, one-year letterman out of Greenville, Texas, playing at the free safety position, 4 interceptions in 2 games. As once again Hamill back to throw. He'll be brought down. Nice defensive play, returning the favor that time for Sam Houston up from the defensive line to make the stop. 53. Huey Blackman, the sophomore squadsman from Longview, Texas, brings down the Lumberjack quarterback.
And it seems, rather, that's what they're going to have to, the Bearcat defense is going to have to do, is penetrate through that offensive line of the Lumberjacks and put pressure on the quarterback or shoot the gap early to stop those running backs from coming up the middle.
As we mentioned, the Bearcats getting fooled that time. Blackman not fooled on the play as Edwards goes wide to the right side and Patterson wide left. Hamill straight back to throw, has time, steps up into the pocket, now has got a lot of green in front of him. He will come up to the 30-yard line, up to about the 32, met there by Meldon Nichols with help from Billy Anderson. But it's going to be enough for a Stephen F. Austin first down, and that time just nobody between the defensive line and the secondary people, and once Hamill broke the line of scrimmage, he had plenty of room to run.
That's right. He had just a little bit of pressure in the backfield, Rob, but he waited till his receivers had taken the defensive back so deep that once he stepped up, as you said, there was nothing between him and the defenders, which is about a gap of 30 yards.
Patterson wide to the left and Edwards wide. Hamill still back in the pocket to throw, looking to go long. Ricky Royal on the coverage. Ball is broken up. Nice defensive play that time. And you know, early in the season, Ricky Royal had a problem on plays like that with not looking back for the football. That time he looked back for the football and timed his jump with the receiver, and that kept him from getting the pass interference penalty.
That's true, Rod. And the very first game of the season against San Angelo, we saw exactly what you're talking about. The secondary and the Bearcats defense getting burned left and right.
Second down and 10, spot the ball at the 32-yard line in Lumberjack territory. Now pitch the ball deep in the backfield. Larry Centers breaks a couple of tackles. Good hard running inside by the sophomore from Tatum, as he will be out across the 35-yard line, giving him a gain of about 4 yards on that play, bring up second down and 6. We're checking third down and 6. Clock runs 10 minutes, 53 seconds to go here before halftime. Stephen F. Austin leading it here over Sam Houston, 14-10. Patterson and Edwards are both split wide to the left side. Single back formation as Hamill looks to throw. Ball is incomplete over on the near sideline. Patterson had it go in and out of his hands, and that time good defense as the Bearcats hold on fourth down.
That was a big play right there for the Bearcats. Stop the Lumberjacks. Well, they had good field position. The Bearcats will come out of this with good field position. So I think that was a very important play, especially when you have a man like Billy Anderson, a dangerous return man like Billy Anderson. He'll be receiving it somewhere around the 25-yard line. And
Steve Merca with a good punt, almost blocked by Delrich Gay. Now return up the sidelines. Billy Anderson breaks off a couple of tackles. Nice play that time by Stephen F. Austin's John Paul Young, a backup defensive back on the specialty teams.
It looked to me, Rod, that even had number 2, Steve Merca, the punter, was in on the tackle, I believe.
Yeah, but Bearcats shaking up on the near sideline. And hold your breath, looks like 43 Leish Adams. Let's hope he just had the wind knocked out of him. Now they're not looking at any particular part of his body.
And, well, one thing really be grateful for is nobody's looking at any area of the leg.
That's true. No knee or ankles.
I think he just got the wind knocked out of him, Rod. It looks to me like they're trying to
Elevate his legs.
And give the lungs a little less pressure.
So the Bearcats will operate at the 42-yard line when we return to action. They will have a first down and 10. Take a look at the current South Conference with a 5-0 record, followed by Northeastern Louisiana at 4-0. Sam Houston is in third with a 2-1 record. Northwestern Louisiana 2-3. Stephen F. Austin is at 1-2. McNeese State 4-1, and 0-3 for Southwest Texas. So coming into games, as really the Bearcats, Northeastern Louisiana, North Texas are only teams really still in the running here in the Southland Conference. Next week, or this week, the Eagles will be at Arkansas State. The following, they will be at Northeast Louisiana, and they will end the season at home at Louisiana Tech. Now, Northeastern Louisiana, who is currently 4-0 in the conference, will play at Southern Mississippi, then play a Southland Conference game at home to take on North Texas State, and then they will play a designated Southland Conference game at home against Arkansas State. Sam Houston, after today's conference game against Stephen F. Austin, will be at home for a designated conference game with Western Illinois, and then travel to San Marcos to take on Southwest Texas.
And it appears, Rod, that number 43, Lash Adams, is okay. He's up and walking around. Hopefully, it was just the air getting knocked out of him. That would be a devastating loss for the Bearcats, one that I don't think they could really realistically replace him and get any kind of performance out of anybody else like
well,
that.
you're never going to replace a guy that just gets to the football as well as Lash Adams, one of the leading tacklers in the Southland Conference, and we can only hold our breath and hope that Lash Adams will return to action. The trainers are still talking to him on the bench here on the near sidelines, and if we receive any word on Lash Adams, we will pass it on. But right now, first and 10, spot the ball at the 42-yard line. Henry wide to the left side, and Keith Willis is wide to the right, I formation behind the quarterback, Reggie Lewis. Now play action. Lewis looking to go long, has a man. Keith Willis, nice catch on the play into Lumberjack territory across the 40-yard line. Nice leap and a nice catch that time by Keith Willis, tackled on the play by Stephen F. Austin by number 32 left side quarterback, Bruce Alexander.
Well, that was that favorite connection that we're always talking about, Reggie Lewis and Keith Willis, Rod. That when those two can get their synchronization down, it's really hard to stop them.
A couple of former high school teammates from Waco Jefferson Moore High School. First and 10. Now Reggie Lewis will run the bootleg, will try to turn the corner, will go out of bounds. He may gain 1 yard on the play. Good pursuit that time by Bobby Henry, the right side linebacker, sophomore 1-year runnerman out of Denison. Helped to force Reggie Lewis out of bounds.
It looked like to me that number 45, Daryl Montgomery, just flat missed a block on that. The lineman came just screaming right by him, and once he was by him, there's really nothing left he could do.
So gain of 1 yard on the play, spot the ball out at the 38-yard line. As one of the Bearcat offensive linemen moved on the play, 54 that time for Sam Houston. Walter Fortune will draw the penalty.
I believe that's going to be one of the first penalties we've seen against the Bearcats thus far today, Rod.
I believe it is the first penalty on Sam Houston this afternoon with 9 minutes. It comes with 9 minutes, 42 seconds to go until halftime. So back to Bearcats up now, 2nd and 14. As Willis is wide to the left side, James Lopez wide to the right. Ricky Eggleston is tight to the right side, split backfield. Now Reggie Lewis will turn the ball upfield, break a couple of tackles. Now it's into the secondary. He needs a couple of blocks. He will be inside the 10, down to the 5, down to the 2-yard line, and a nice run that time by Reggie Lewis.
Well, that's the same thing that the Lumberjacks are using. Same exact play. Quarterback gets it, drops, acts like he's going to drop back in the pocket for the pass, stops, hesitates, and goes right up the middle. There's a gaping hole there, and once they do that, it's hard to stop them.
Reggie Lewis showing incredible athletic ability on that play as he turned it up in the hole, made a couple of tacklers miss, and then bounced off a couple of tackles. So first and goal, ball at the 2-yard line. Victor Henry, lone receiver to the left side, double tight end set as Rob Beecham is tight to the left. Ricky Eggleston tight right. Luther Turner is the deep back. Pitch it to Turner. He will be hit right in the middle of that defensive line. A nice play that time by number 90, Eric King, the left end. And Luther Turner will have no gain, a good surge that time by the front line of Stephen F. Austin's defense.
Well, you know, Rod, that play right there is one that we saw the Bearcats try to use against North Texas and a lot of other teams. They get right down to the goal line, they turn and pitch the ball 5 yards back into the backfield, and then the back's got an extra 5 yards to make up before he ever makes it to the line of scrimmage.
Kind of setting the table, so to speak, for that Lumberjack defense. Gave him a loss of 1 yard on the play. Now second and goal from the 3. Hand the ball straight up the middle, and that's Daryl Montgomery, touchdown. Good observation that time. Hand it to the guy where he doesn't have to make 5 yards to get back to the line of scrimmage, and he gets into the end zone. So that time, a good surge by the fullback, Daryl Montgomery. Officially 3 yards on the touchdown run.
And the kick is up and good.
So with 9 minutes, or taking 8 minutes, 26 seconds to go here until halftime, it's now Sam Houston 17, Stephen F. Austin 14.
Start your day off on Channel 7 with the all-new Huntsville This Morning, 8:30 to 9 a.m. Monday through Thursday. Catch up on the current events of the community with Channel 7's morning television program. Huntsville This Morning, Monday through Thursday at 8:30 a.m. Community events, special services, and general information of interest to the Huntsville area are just some of the topics discussed on 15 Minutes on cable Channel 7, Monday through Thursday at 10 p.m.
So the Bearcats still impressive on offense. Now have taken the lead. A lot of big plays on that drive. Reggie Lewis has scrambled the pass to Keith Willis to get him into Lumberjack territory, and the Bearcat offense really has looked on track against this very tough Stephen F. Austin defense.
That's true, Rod. A couple of times the Bearcats, almost all their drives have been impressive ones. They've had big yards on all their drives. A couple of times they've been shut down right at the goal line, come up empty-handed, but as that time they put it in for the 6 points. And now, as a result, the Bearcats have the lead.
The ball will be kicked short, taken by one of the up men for Stephen F. Austin. 23, Marvin Davis is the return man, tackled by a whole host of Bearcats over on the far sideline, getting up slow for Sam Houston, 96, Marty Yagnoski, a backup defensive end.
And Rod, it looks to me like Jerome Heim is having a little bit of problem with his kicking at this point. Given the fact that he is kicking into the wind, that's got to be a problem pushing the ball down a little bit, but those are some really low line drive kicks.
Now Hamill will pitch the ball. Larry Centers, look out as he breaks a couple of tackles. He's into Bearcat territory, knocked out of bounds by Tolly Royal. Or check it, Ricky Royal to force him out of bounds at the 19-yard line. That time a quick pitch by Todd Hamill and big yardage for the running back Larry Centers.
Well, Rod, it's not that there was bad pursuit or anything on that play. It was just a well-designed play by the Lumberjacks. It had a superb block right after the pitch, which freed him up, and it was really good pursuit on the part of the Bearcats once he did break it into open field.
On 1st and 10, hand the ball off to Michael Horace. First time we've called his name this afternoon. Tackle on the play for the Bearcats by 59, Andre Finley. With help from Todd Jones on the play. Give him a gain of 4 yards and bring up a 2nd down and 6. Patterson and Edwards are both split wide to the left side. I formation as now Michael Horace has moved in the tailback position. Handed to Horace. He will be met in the backfield. Nice tackle from behind. Todd Jones up to make the stop for Sam Houston. Jones, a 5'10", 253-pound freshman from Houston, up to make the tackle for Sam Houston.
You know, Rod, this is a really good chance for the Bearcat defense to rise to the occasion and show their colors. Right down here, if they could just hold them to a field goal or possibly shut down the field goal and leave the Lumberjacks empty-handed. Melvin
Patterson and Chris Edwards are both wide to the left side. Now fake the handoff. Hamill keeps the ball and will be dragged down. 59, Andre Finley, the sophomore, one-year letterman from Houston Forest Brook. And I don't think that Todd Hamill is fooling the Bearcat defense quite as well as he was in the early going.
That's true, Rod.
So it looks like the Lumberjacks will attempt the field goal. The freshman from Ruston, Louisiana, number 12, David Jones, on out of the hold of Monty West.
And credit that Bearcat defense really heavily this time, Rob, because guess who wasn't in there? Leish Adams, number 43, is still on the bench.
Kick is up, and it is good. 40-yard field goal from David Jones, and now with 6 minutes, 19 seconds to go until halftime, we're all tied at 17.
You say you've got too much to do and not enough time to do it. Are the pressures of school and your job getting too much for you to handle? Then it's time for Stress Watch. Join Cassandra Baker and her assistant Berlinda Pruneda for solutions to time management and helpful tips to handle stress. Only on Cable Channel 7. That's Wednesday nights at 9 o'clock.
So 6 minutes, 19 seconds to go until halftime from Homer Brice Stadium here in Nacogdoches, Texas. A capacity house that is spilling over into the grass here, has probably somewhere in the neighborhood of, I'd say 13 to 14,000 people. As this stadium holds 14,000, it looks like it is just about full.
That's true. One thing I'd like to mention is that Leish Adams had some ice on the back of his neck, so he may have had a shot to the head or got hit from behind or something, maybe a clip that wasn't seen. He's up and around walking right now. Looks like he's going to be leaving the field, so this could mean trouble for the Bearcats.
Leish Adams is being helped, I think, to the dressing room, and as a Bearcat fan, you would hope for his return because, as we mentioned, he is the cog in that makes that Bearcat defense go, as he is the leading tackler for the Bearcat team, one of the leading tacklers in the Southland Conference. So we'll try to get a report as soon as we can on Leish Adams, as the Lumberjacks will kick it off. Back deep, Victor Henry and Ricky Davis for Sam Houston. The kick will be taken by Victor Henry. He will be up across the 20, now try to reverse his field. He will be dragged down from behind. And that time, Victor Henry just couldn't get away. Eric King and George Redmond on the tackle for Stephen F. Austin on the special team. So the Bearcat offense comes out, 6:08 to go until halftime. Game all tied at 17.
I believe this is the worst start that Sam Houston's had as far as field position in the game.
Long count by Reggie Lewis. Hand the ball straight up the middle to the fullback. That's Ricky Davis. We'll check it. Daryl Montgomery on the carry for Sam Houston. Bobby Henry up from his right side linebacking spot to make the tackle for Stephen F. Austin. James Lopez checks into the ball game.
This could be a very, very important drive right here for the Lumberjack defense. If they can shut the Bearcats down right here, this deep in their territory, force the Bearcats to punt, the Lumberjacks will come out with superb field position.
Now flags fly. We will probably have an illegal procedure penalty against Sam Houston. Dead ball false start on the offense is the preliminary indication. So back the Bearcats up, and now they will be faced with a second down and about 14.
Right, we can still see Life Adams. He has made his way out of here very slow. I think he might have some sort of maybe a head injury because he is walking almost like he's still in a complete daze.
He is walking very slowly underneath the tunnel as Reggie Lewis drops to throw. Once again is under pressure, wings it out, has the fullback, Daryl Montgomery. He will have good yardage, knocked out of bounds at the 39-yard line. Good hit that time by the Lumberjacks. 43, David Whitmore, the free safety, but a nice job of finding the receiver and buying time by Reggie Lewis.
That's right, and he's really shown today that he's not going to dump it off every time he gets under pressure. He's been under heavy pressure almost all day, and he's been waiting and picking and finding his receivers when they're in the open and they're safely in the open.
So Lopez is wide to the left side. Keith Willis is wide to the right. Now play action. Lewis looking to go long. Has a man, Lopez, and there comes the flag. Lopez was hit early. The penalty on the play for Stephen F. Austin will go against Johnny Hendricks, a 5'10" defensive back. And that time clearly hit him early. I don't know if Lopez really would have had that good a chance to catch the ball, but didn't even get the opportunity to jump for it.
Well, I think he would have, Rod. The ball really wasn't overthrown, it wasn't underthrown. He was leading him. Lopez would just had to come back to the ball a slight few steps, and he was clearly, as you said, clearly hit well before the ball ever reached him.
Really looked like he was overthrown because I don't think the defensive back ever gave Lopez the chance to jump or have an opportunity to leap for the pass. So now they wave the flag off as the referee has said no penalty now, and the Bearcats will be faced with 2nd and 10. Strange call that time, as Lopez looked like he was clearly hit. I guess the referee figured that the pass was not catchable. So hand the ball up to Turner, who will get out to the 45-yard line, pick up 5 yards on that play. Will bring up a 3rd down and 5. A strange decision that time by the referee.
Well, perhaps another referee, another official had a better angle on the call, a better view to it, and they'll confer like that. As we saw last week against a game Dallas was in, where a call was reversed like that, just because someone else had a better view on it.
Now Lewis looking for somewhere to go. He's got a lot of green in front of him. He will be into Lumberjack territory. Reverse his field a couple of times. Be knocked down on the play. Now the whistle had blown. The referee has blew the whistle when Reggie Lewis went down, as it appeared he fumbled the football. Up. Number 50. Or Bobby Henry, check at 35, up to make the stop on Reggie Lewis. Once again, Reggie Lewis having an outstanding game running the football.
Well, as he always does. He just, once he gets a little green in front of him, he's going to go. And unless you have good speed or you have a good tackle, a good shot at him, he's going to get the major yardage, certainly a 1st down.
Willis goes wide to the left side with Victor Henry wide to the right, 1st and 10. Spot the ball down at the 22-yard line in Lumberjack territory. As the pitchback comes deep in the backfield, Luther Turner nowhere to go on that play. He will get back to the line of scrimmage, and that is all. That tough defense shows because the Bearcats have not had any success with that deep pitch in the backfield.
Well, it's been somewhat of a controversial play that we've seen all year, Rod. Most of the time we've seen there's been a few plays where they have gotten some yards, but for the most part, every time they pitch deep back into the backfield like that, their backs get shut down.
Well, it's not a bad play to use in the first down situation when your defense has to be prepared with everything. It has not worked in the short yardage situation as Reggie Lewis looks to throw. Now that pass is complete. 18 Keith Willis on the reception inside the 15 down to about the 13-yard line in Lumberjack territory. He looks to be about a yard or two short of the first down.
Third down and 2.
So spot him at the 14. He needs to get the 12 for the first down. Third down and 2. As the Bearcats will go double tight end set with Rob Beecham tight to the left side and Ricky Eggleston is tight right. Now hand the ball to the back. That's Luther Turner will be very close to first down yardage. He should have enough for the first down. From where they spotted it, though, it looks like it's going to be very close to the first down. So the chain gangs bring the chains in from across the way.
Well, once again, there we saw the pitch back, Rod, and you know you're that close to getting the first down. It seems like, you know, run and shoot.
So by the length of the football, first down and 10. Sam Houston spot the ball at the 12-yard line. And now the Bearcats looking once again to put more points on the scoreboard. Clock runs 2 minutes, 27 seconds to go until halftime. As the Bearcats will stay with the double tight end set. Rob Beecham tight to the left side and Ricky Eggleston tight right. The lone receiver to the left side is James Lopez. I formation Montgomery and Turner. Pitch the ball deep in the backfield. Luther Turner will go down to about the 6-yard line. Nice hit on the play out of bounds for Stephen F. Austin. 43, the free safety, David Whitmore. But a nice gain that time of about 6 yards for Luther Turner.
Really was a good hit. Most of the time when Luther Turner gets that far in, close to the goal line, and he has a little bit of running room built up before he gets there, he's a hard man to stop with just a single hit.
So now Victor Henry is the lone receiver wide to the left side. Bearcats operate now. Second out and 5. Spot the ball at the 6-yard line. Pitch the ball deep in the backfield. Luther Turner, he will walk into the end zone for the touchdown. So a homecoming of sorts for Luther Turner as the senior one-year letterman from Waco takes it into the end zone. And you know, he's playing in front of a lot of hometown folks that used to watch him play when he was in high school.
Well, I guess we that's news to me, Rod. I wasn't aware of that.
He's always real excited about coming to Homer Brice Stadium and playing against the Lumberjacks. Always wants to play well. Here's the extra point attempt is up and good. So with 2 minutes, 4 seconds to go until halftime, your new score: Sam Houston 24, Stephen F. Austin 17.
On Cable Channel 7, aerobics for the health of it. The new aerobics show for couples. You and a friend can enjoy the privacy of doing aerobics in your own home. That's aerobics for the health of it, Thursday mornings at 9 o'clock. Find out about the black community and its leaders. Huntsville's most prominent black men will be featured as they tell what they're doing to improve the quality of life in the black Huntsville community on Huntsville Elite, each week on Cable Channel 7, Mondays at 9 o'clock.
So 2 minutes, 4 seconds to go until halftime. Important right now for Sam Houston not to let this Stephen F. Austin team get any momentum going into the halftime, as the Bearcats have now taken the 7-point lead. Defense has to play well. A defense that right now is minus Leish Adams.
That's right. The Bearcat defense has got to come out here and shut down the Lumberjack offense, go into the locker room with a 7-point lead. It works both ways, Rod. Whereas the Lumberjacks offense they've got to score some kind of points on this drive.
Ball is taken once again by one of the upmen as Jerome Heim continues to dribble the ball along the ground, and he's giving Stephen F. Austin excellent field position. Marvin Davis once again will return the kick for Stephen F. Austin.
You know, Rod, that's one thing Coach Ron Reynolds has got to do something. He's got to talk to Jerome, see what the problem is. Maybe it's just the wind pushing the ball down. We can't tell from up here, but you have to look at the fact that every time that he's done this, Stephen F. Austin's come out with good field position and gotten a big play right off the bat and put them into scoring position.
Todd Hamill, ball is picked up, and it's Billy Anderson once again. A lot of green, a couple of blockers. He will be inside the 35, knocked out of bounds. Another interception for Billy Anderson.
Well, that's what we said the first of the game, Rod. He's had 4 interceptions within the last 2 games. The man's only been on defense for a short time now. He was a flanker. He's been defense for 2 games, now 3 games. He's got 5 interceptions. What a defensive back Billy Anderson has become.
That time, Hamill overthrew the intended receiver, the tight end on the play, Brad Barfield. And as we mentioned, the Bearcats not giving Stephen F. Austin momentum. Now the Bearcats could have a chance to take a huge momentum advantage going into halftime. Play action, Reggie Lewis under pressure, and he will be sacked. That time, just no time to throw the football. 56 for Stephen F. Austin in on the play.
And that's one thing we've been seeing, Rod. The Bearcat, the offensive line, they're doing nothing in the way of giving Reggie Lewis any time, any kind of protection. Reggie's been scrambling left and right all day long, and he's just got to have some protection. You can't do that all day. Reggie's going to be worn out before this game is over.
Keith Melcher, Carlton Walker both combined to make the stop on Reggie Lewis that time. A loss of 10 yards on the play. Now the Bearcats going against the wind here in the second half as Lewis drops straight back to throw once again. His rush sets up the screen, but that one will go nowhere as not good blocking, good penetration, read well over on the far sideline by the Stephen F. Austin defense.
Well, I think now that at this point, Rod, you can't look for a play that's got to set itself up like the screen. Your back now, it's going to be 3rd and call it about 23. And so look for him to go deep to either Victor Henry or Keith Willis now.
Yeah, the Bearcats, I think now with only 33 seconds clock running, would like to try to get it into field goal range, although the kick would have to be against the wind, so the Bearcats would need good yardage as the pass across the field almost complete, but is incomplete, intended over here near sideline for Victor Henry. That stops the clock with 23 seconds to go, and the Bearcats will probably have a couple of more shots, or checking it'll be 4th down, so they will trot the punting unit on. So not real good production in that offensive drive, but at least with the interception, they kept Stephen F. Austin out of the end zone up to this point until halftime.
That's right. About all that, don't downplay the interception. The interception is good whenever you can get it, but that interception, more or less what that did is negated the poor kick by Jerome Hine.
So Bart Bradley will get his foot into it against the wind. And what a kill that time, and the ball will be stopped at the 1-yard line. Nice play that time as Ricky Royal hustled downfield and just jumped into the end zone, set it back at the 1 where it was down. A nice hustling play on the special teams by Ricky Royal.
Well, he was in full stride for that ball. He knew exactly where it was coming down. He knew where he was in relation to the goal line, and he just slapped it down right there on the 1-yard line. Good pat on the back for Ricky Royal and the special team, the punting unit for the Bearcats.
As that ball is just outside the end zone, the Lumberjacks, with only 13 seconds to go until halftime, would probably just like to not get sacked for a safety here.
Just punch it out over the line is what they've got to do, Rod.
And that's exactly what Todd Hamill will do. That will probably be the last play until halftime unless someone stops the clock. Give him a gain of 1 yard on that play as the clock moves down to 2, now 1. And that's the end of the first half of play. From Homer Brice Stadium in Nacogdoches, your halftime score is the Sam Houston Bearcats 24, the Stephen F. Austin Lumberjacks 17. Stay tuned because Bearcat football continues on Cable Channel 7 with the second half coming up next.